for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Jamie?
Be advised that proper notice has been given by the Township Council in accordance with the Sunshine Law in the following manner. Notice advertised in the Delran County Times, New Canaan Courier Post on January 4th, 2019, and posted on the bulletin board on the same date. Mr. Lyon? Mr. Hernando?
Here.
Ms. Correa? Here. Mr. Burrell?
Here.
Mr. Ketchum?
Here. So for those folks who are reading along, we're going to push the proclamation down a little bit. The gentleman is running late, and we'd like him to be here before we well, your timing is excellent. We're just about to start. Ira, why don't you come on up? What I attempt to find. Council, do you want to come down? Ken?
It's usually not the position I find myself when I come into this room, but it's an exception.
How are you?
Great, that's great.
Pleasure.
Thank you.
Take the opportunity to read this. We can get somebody to take a picture. Take a picture with you. This is our photographer. Volunteer photographer. Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, we should have some. Okay.
Oh, there we go.
I see Kevin, I got the miniatures. All smiles from everybody.
You good?
I think so.
Just checking, make sure. All right, we're all out of time, everyone. Thanks for coming. Come over if you want. I feel like we're going to end. So I'm going to try to do this with very small print in the dark and no reading glasses. So it's my pleasure to read this proclamation declaring the first Friday in June to be the National Gun Violence Awareness Day. This proclamation declares that the first Friday in June to be the National Gun Violence Awareness Day in the Township of Delran, to honor and remember all victims and survivors of gun violence, and to declare that we as a country must do more to reduce gun violence. Whereas every day 100 Americans are killed by gun violence, and on average there are nearly 1,300 gun homicides every year. And whereas Americans are 25 times more likely to be killed with guns than people in other high-income countries. Whereas protecting public safety in the communities they serve in is the mayor's highest responsibility, and whereas subject to the Second Amendment rights of law-abiding citizens goes hand in hand with keeping guns away from people with dangerous histories. And whereas mayors and law enforcement officers know their communities best, are the most familiar with local criminal activity and how to address it, and are best positioned to understand how to keep their citizens safe. And whereas in January 2013, Hidayah Pendleton, a teenager who marched in President Obama's second inaugural parade and was tragically shot and killed just weeks later, would be now celebrating her 22nd birthday. And whereas to help honor Hidayah and the 100 Americans whose lives are cut short and the countless survivors who are injured by shootings every day, the National Coalition of Organizations has designed June 7th, 2019, the first Friday in June, as the 5th National Gun Violence Awareness Day. And whereas the idea was inspired by a group of Hidayah's friends who asked their classmates to commemorate her life by wearing orange. They chose that color because hunters wear orange to announce themselves to other hunters when out in the woods, and orange is a color that symbolizes the value of human life. And whereas anyone can join this campaign by pledging to wear orange on June 7th, the first Friday in June on 2019, to help raise awareness about gun violence. And whereas by wearing orange on June 7th, 2019, Americans will raise awareness about gun violence and honor the lives of gun violence victims and survivors. And finally, whereas we renew our commitment to reduce gun violence and pledge to all do all we can to keep firearms out of the wrong hands and encourage responsible gun ownership to help keep our children safe. Now therefore be it resolved that Mayor Ken Paris, along with the members of Township Council and the Township of Delran, declare the first Friday in June, June 7th, 2019, to be National Gun Violence Awareness Day. I encourage all citizens to support their community's efforts to provide tragic effects of gun violence and to honor the value of human lives. Thank you very much. Thank you for doing this.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
Okay. That was a good one.
One, two, I lied. I said I would.
I did practice. Okay, now we'll get back to our agenda at this time, and I'll ask for a motion to approve the minutes of March 12, 2019, action, work session, and closed session meeting.
So moved.
Second.
Mr. Romando?
Aye.
Ms. Correa?
Aye.
Mr. Burrell?
Aye.
Mr. Cattrick?
Aye. And now I need a motion to approve the minutes for March 21st, 2019, the special meeting.
So moved.
Second.
Mr. Romando?
Abstain.
Ms. Correa?
Aye.
Mr. Burrell?
Aye.
Mr. Cattrick?
Aye. All right, so next we have the municipal budget. I need a resolution. This is Resolution 2019-86, providing for self-examination of the 2019 municipal budget.
So moved. Second.
Mr. Romando?
Aye.
Ms. Correa?
Aye.
Mr. Burrell?
Aye.
Mr. Cattrick?
Aye. Next, I have Resolution 2019-87, allowing the budget to be read by title.
So moved.
Second.
Mr. Romando?
Aye.
Ms. Correa?
Aye.
Mr. Burrell?
Aye.
Mr. Cattrick?
Aye. So now we have a public hearing on the 2019 municipal budget. I need a motion to open this up to public.
So moved. Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. So now in public, as everyone recognizes, we ask you to step forward, state your name and address for the record if you have questions or comments about the budget, and we'll be happy to entertain them. Excuse me? This is just for the budget. You can certainly come up if you'd like. Lynn, please state your name and address for the record.
My name is Helen, actually. Helen Cummings.
This is an alias? All along we've been...
Now we found it.
It's a nickname, Helen.
Oh.
Some of you sometimes call me Hel, but that's okay.
Okay. I've heard.
Well, first of all, thank you. Thank you so much for bringing us to this day, this night, this wonderful experience. I feel like I should be doing cartwheels. We wanted to go out to celebrate on Sunday. We couldn't find anybody to go out and celebrate with us. It was such a rainy, awful day, but the celebration really of this playground on Friday and Saturday was wonderful. So since we're talking about a budget, what we wanted to bring forth to you is that, and I did speak a little bit to Gary about this, that the playground is so beautiful that I don't think anyone is going to think it's missing anything. I honestly think that's what's going to happen here. But we did promise this town 3 phases, and we've completed the playground with your help and with the help of all the donors and funders that have been a partner with us in 2 phases. So we're 1 phase ahead. And there is a 3rd phase, and that 3rd phase is the zip line. Now, when my husband Jim and I spoke in all the schools in Delran, there was loud cheering when we would mention the zip line. And those kids are now 15, right? They were 10-year-olds probably, and they're now 15. But there's an integrity to doing and completing what you promised you would. I don't think it'd be missed, but it will be very hard for us as co-founders of this organization to let that happen. The cost of this is going to be somewhere, and this is just ballpark that's being given to us by the folks that were on the site, is somewhere between $65,000 and $75,000. That's not just the cost of the equipment of the zip line, That's all with the preparation again of the particular piece of property, the stone, the concrete, and then the poured in place. That's the total of that. So it would be my personal request that we find together, or however we could do this, and do it with urgency, the way to have at least half of this be found as quickly as we can find it to be a match. So that if we could find $30,000 to $35,000 and offer that to this town as a match, then I believe that we would get this done. I think we'd get this done before the end of summer. So that's true.
My name is Jim Cummings. I'm associated with her. And we're still wearing our uniform from being on the playground today in Cherry Hill. And I don't know if everybody has seen the playground. Now that it has been partially completed, we've got most of the equipment in, but today would have been the opportunity for you to really understand the impact that this playground is going to have on Delran. We literally had several hundred kids, half of whom were kids with disabilities on the playground today, all playing together.
Not here in Delran, in Cherry
No, I'm
Hill.
talking about in Cherry Hill, and all having an amazing time. This is going to be a destination playground. And by that I mean it's the most unique playground in all of New Jersey. And I'm not making that up. It's absolutely true. There's no other playground with a theme like this. There's certainly no playground with a South Jersey theme. And if you've seen it, you've seen our bridge to Philadelphia, you've seen the farm, the down the shore area. I had a heck of a time convincing them to make down the shore one word, but they finally got it. That's what we call it down here. The fact of the matter is, this is going to be an amazing thing for this community. And this little bit we're trying to get done, we're willing to do it. We will do it. Just like we've done $430,000 so far to get this done. But if you could help us get this completed in a timely fashion, this will make a big, big difference. And unlike my wife saying nobody will miss it, I'll miss it. This was what we promised the town. This is what we promised the children. And I want to see that promise fulfilled. I want to see this to be the most spectacular playground that there is in New Jersey. And part of that is this zip line.
Right. Well, thank you. First of all, it was a pleasure to see you all in the incredible process this weekend. And the fact that the team and the organization, all the volunteers, literally from the Tri-State,
270 volunteers.
unbelievable. That's why you finished 2 days, or 3 days worth of work in 2 days, and
Right.
beat the rain.
Exactly.
Incredible.
And practically all the food was also donated, and most of that all came from Delran.
How about that? So we're at the end stage of the budget right now, but budgets take a while to do things. So I would say that at the next council meeting, we'll talk about maybe ways that we can participate. Obviously, I spoke to you about 2 hours ago.
Right.
So we can't put, government doesn't move that
Oh,
fast.
no, and we don't expect it to.
But, we'll coordinate, we see it, the folks that were there were so enthusiastic. And if we can do some sort of a group effort between you all and the organizations that are in town, and with the support of the council, see if we can't pull this across the finish line and add that zip line. So I can't commit to anything unilaterally here, but I can say that the next work session we'll see, kind of entertain the options and see what we can do. We'll try to stir up some other organizations to be involved.
And as you know, we're always available to you. You know that from the very beginning. We're always available to you.
Indeed. Well, that's great. So obviously, we're thrilled. Once you see it in place, when I first went up on Friday, it looked like just a bunch of poles sticking out of the ground.
Forest of poles.
And magically, yeah, the forest of poles. And magically, it became this incredible playground. I know that you are hard at work in scheduling the final concrete pour and the pour in place. And as soon as that's ready, we'll have a big grand opening and watch those kids play.
And that's what our goal would be, that for the grand opening, we might be able to set forth like a table of fundraisers, so that, you know, you may not be able to come to this one, but you can come to this one. And I think we're going to have a good participation from the Delran folks to come out on that. So we were thinking of things that would be, you know, not so costly, a lot of fun, things that would be for families, things that we could, you know, kind of just plan out early enough in time that people could put it on their calendars and really be part of it all.
Right. Well, you know, again, I think Delran has embraced Jake's Place. I know that, you know, Lana Pangio is here, former councilwoman, who brought the idea to council and has been there and still there all along. And you know, I think the township, now that they're seeing this is real and happening, you know, I think that they will rally.
I think so too.
Delran always seems to do that. So thank you again for coming out. I know you were out in the sun all day playing with all those kids.
On my top of my head getting this tan.
So I thought it was just because of the nice warm feel in this room.
No, that's
But
not.
that is great. We will put that on the agenda for the next work session, which is next week, and see if we can come up with some ideas and reach out to all the organizations and local governments.
As I said, talk to us, let us know what we can do.
Absolutely.
All right, thank you.
Thank you so much for coming out. Do we have any other questions about the budget? We do.
We do. Lana Pangio, 106 Natalie Road. For those of you that don't know me, my name is Lana, and I used to sit where you are all sitting. But those seats are always temporary, and you have to remember that. One thing that happens in those seats carries on forever, and carries on and changes the lives here in Delran. When I went to Atlantic City for the League of Municipalities 5.5 years ago, I never imagined that the dream of building Jake's Place would have been coming true and being here today. The agreement has changed multiple times over the years of who's paying what money and where funding is coming from and where grants are coming from. But at the end of the day, we've put $200 and some odd thousand from county grants. We've put $430,000 from private fundraising, not coming out of the taxpayers' dollars. That's a lot of money for a playground that's going to be valued at over $700,000. And Delran hasn't put forth that money. We're looking for you to come up with money through the capital budget or through other means. I wanted to ask if there was, in 2016, we had a flood study done for Ward 1 that was never completed. Is that $50,000 still available that could be put towards this program? Now that the time period has lapsed, are we able to take that money and reallocate it to the general funds like we have in so many other projects? When projects run over, when projects are underfunded, we have money that runs in other funds. There's other money there in those coffers. Maybe you could take $50,000 and put it towards capital improvements that may possibly be approved for that Ward 1 flood study that has still yet to be accomplished and is stuck in no man's land in the federal government. But we could take that $50,000 that's sitting in our coffers, collecting dust, and put it to good use here in town today. I'm asking you just to look at that money. Is that money still available, that we could use that money for us now? Especially when we haven't been able to contribute what we were.
I'm sorry, if it's a capital budget, then we didn't.
It was not a capital budget item.
It was
It was a municipal, it was part of the municipal budget.
okay, and the line item only lasts 24 months, it goes to surplus.
And now goes into surplus. Is there a way that we can move that money from the coffers and put it forth for a project that has been planned for 5.5 years? 5.5 years.
Okay, that's a great point. And certainly we can't do it here, but we can talk about, but Jeff needs time to explore those
I
and see
understand
where they were allotted, and you were there. when
I know.
Only certain things.
But money can be switched around into
Right.
different
So
different
we'll need-
avenues.
we'll
And
need
that
to
would
give
be a
Jeff-
wonderful way of Delran being able to contribute immediate funding, not just something that can come down the road. Immediate funding for our project. And we'll easily be able to come up with the additional $20,000 to make that project last.
So, as I said, we'll do that, we'll explore those options. I'll ask Jeff to do a little research for us for next week's work session.
And especially when, I don't know if you guys have heard those last numbers that have come in, We got $20,000 from the Melanoma Foundation for a shade canopy. I don't think you guys understand quite how big that shade canopy is. When we talked about the food stands and bathrooms and everything at Delran Park 4 years ago, oh my goodness, it's been that long, we talked about how we were going to have a balcony or some sort of seating area. We haven't been able to accomplish that. I don't think you guys understand that they accomplished that. That was another item that Lynn and Jim took off of your plate. And there is now going to be a giant, this is not just a little shade, this is not just a little canopy. This is going to be a giant shaded area with plenty of picnic tables. This is another item that has been taken off of Delran residents to accomplish. And they're asking for $70,000. They're not even asking for that. They're asking for $35,000. But I know that you have $50,000 that you're sitting on, and I know you can turn that money over to us.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
I want to say one other thing, Mr. Mayor. Unfortunately, I'm just going to say, I feel bad that I couldn't be there this weekend. I was out of town,
Come take a personal tour. I'll bring you around.
No, I was there. I was actually there when we got back. We went out there. But yeah, I have no problem going out there. But I also want to say thank you to all the volunteers. I want to thank you guys for doing everything you've done with that park. Lana, I will tell you, I mean, going back, you were the one that brought this to Delran. We appreciate it. I think it's a fantastic addition. Initially, when we bought that property, the idea was to have a beautiful community park. We did want to have encompassing special needs with the field that we put in, that we call like the Field of Dreams type of field. At the same time, this is a great addition as well, so I just want to let you know, I appreciate what you brought down as well.
It's not just
And
a
thank
tot
you.
lot. In Camden County, it is the #1 tourist attraction in Camden County. Not anything on the waterfront. Delran's Park is going to be the same way. It really is.
Thank you, Lana. Any other questions or comments? Hi.
Hello, Christine Etzel, 8 River Drive. I'm here on behalf of my husband. But that $50,000 for the study for the flood, Leanne, we would like that. Number one, why was that never completed? And number two, you're on a
going to-
coalition, okay?
That is something, yes, I
So
can
we
speak to
would
that.
like some information on that to see where we are. But is there any monies appropriated for Ward 1 for flood problems in your budget that we've been coming to the meetings for and we've been asking for a long time? Is there anything?
I don't believe there's anything for remediation. Right?
No.
Not for.
There's no, I don't think there's any money allocated for remediation right now. As far as the $50,000, I don't know what happened with that study. I can't answer that. Tim's not here.
Go ahead.
That was money that we had to put up as a contingency for the government to even be willing to look into that. We put the money up in good faith, and the federal government hasn't gotten around to looking into it.
Okay, so
But I can go into the next question.
Pardon me?
I can go into the next question you had about the coalition and why we're starting it.
Okay, back to the $50,000, then we should be following up on that to find out. I mean, you never had an answer from, DEP or the Army Corps.
And I believe the
whomever.
coalition is the concept that I'm trying to do right now to
Okay.
try to address that situation.
Okay.
And let me just tell you, it was something that we came up with about, I'd say, a month or two ago. We wanted to put a team together, and I'll say a team of towns to build up unfortunately, one person crying, doesn't really get the ear of anybody.
Right.
So the concept there is basically to set up a coalition of several towns that are along the river to address common issues with the flooding. So we did have an initial meeting. We were very successful. We had 13 towns involved.
Okay.
Since then, we had another 1 or 2 join. So we did have the meeting. We had a presentation. Our engineer actually was the one that initiated the presentation in the beginning. We had a lot of communication dialogue. We asked for feedback from them. At the same time, we asked for resolutions from each of the towns to get buy-in so that this way they're supporting our effort. At the same time supporting our effort, we're also looking to make sure everybody understands if they're gonna be involved with this. And we have studies that we have to do, that every town will invest monies if they need to accomplish what we are trying to do. The next meeting is set up for, and like I said, it's mayors pretty much, so one or two engineers if they decide to have engineers come out, or another representative if the mayor can't make it. But at the same time, the next meeting is going to be bringing all the list of their issues, the resolution, buy-in on the whole concept financially as well. We're going to come up with a game plan of exactly what we want to do. We're going to present it to all the high-up officials, as high up as Governor Murphy. Okay, that's what I'm intending to do. I already spoke to Congressman Kim. I already spoke with Senator Singleton. So we've already. I can only do. Yes, but it's a larger coalition.
Yes.
I'm
Okay,
thinking
good.
Hurricane Sandy's passed. There isn't
Good.
any major
Great.
catastrophes. Hopefully we can get. This is
I
my
hope
last
so.
hurrah to try to do this.
All right, sounds good.
But the whole goal is to have them there with the Army Corps, with the DEP, with the Bridge Commission, and the freeholders, everybody else, and we're gonna have a big meeting to explain to them all our problems and situations and try to get funding from the state and federal level.
Sounds good.
That's the goal.
Okay, great,
All right?
yes.
And
We wish you luck.
Delran has brought in as a resolution to be part of this.
Okay.
When it comes down to the funding, if whatever we're gonna have to be responsible for, I'll bring it to council and it'll be brought to council and then we'll make the decision of continuing forward.
Okay, sounds good. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you. I'm going to ask that we stay on point with discussions of the budget until we get to the public meeting. We kind of strayed a little bit, but we were almost on budget right there. So, seeing no additional hands, I'll ask for a motion to come out of public.
So moved. Second?
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye, opposed, motion carries. Now, we have a small amendment that we have to make to the budget, and this is brought in by Resolution 2018-88 to amend the budget. And this is an oversight. It was in the original details for the compensation for the snow removal for the streets and roads for condo reimbursement. Sorry to get down in the weeds, but we have to be as specific as we can. That was in the original discussions, but was omitted with what was sent to the auditor inadvertently, and it needs to be put back into the budget separately because the budget that was advertised and that was voted on did not include that. This is an additional $40,000 in the streets and roads budget, and our intention is going forward to have it as a separate line item so that it doesn't happen again. Did I get that all correct, Jeff?
You did, just one addition, and that's that it doesn't have any impact on the taxes.
Correct. Correct. So I need a motion to go into public regarding this issue and this issue only.
So moved. Sorry.
I'll second. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. So this is just to put back in what was originally in there but got left out inadvertently. It's something that will not impact the tax rates that we'll be talking about in a minute. But it's something that needed to be added in. Anybody have any questions about that? Seeing no hands, I'll ask for a motion to come out of public for that amendment. So moved.
Second.
All in favor? Aye. Opposed? Motion carries. And now, Jamie's going to keep me straight. Now we need a resolution to adopt the resolution to amend the budget. I need a motion to approve that amendment. So moved.
Second.
Mr. Romando?
Aye.
Ms. Correa?
Aye.
Mr. Burrell?
Aye.
Mr. Patrick?
Aye. And now, because it's government, I need a resolution, I need a motion to adopt the resolution 2019-88, adopting the 2019 municipal budget. What did I say? Yes. Oh, it's 89, I'm sorry, it's 2019-89.
So moved.
Second. Mr. Romando?
Aye.
Ms. Correa?
Aye.
Mr. Burrell?
Aye.
Mr. Patrick?
Aye. Okay, so we now have an ordinance on second reading, which means there'll be another public hearing in just a moment, so stand by. Ordinance 2019-07. This is an ordinance amending ordinance 2017-15, which establishes salaries for various employees in the township and regulating the manner of payment. So I'll ask for, I'm going to ask Jeff, just explain to the public briefly what this is.
It's for the positions of the chief financial officer, fire subcode official, electrical subcode official, plumbing subcode official, plumbing inspector, and fire inspector. And what we have is, number one, removing, restructuring the finance department. We had a part-time CFO. That person retired. We were going to a full-time CFO, restructuring that department. And so we leave a salary range for that, as well as the various officials provides salary ranges that will then do a resolution after this is adopted, not tonight, but within after the 20-day period. For fire, subcode, electrical, all of our individuals in those subcodes have either retired and/or left during this last couple of months. And we had to go out, and by putting these salary ranges gives us the flexibility of going out and filling the positions and negotiating with individuals. Previously, we had very specific salary areas that give us some control. That's essentially it.
Thank you. So I'll ask for a motion to go into public for this ordinance and this ordinance only.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. So now we're in public. Once again, if anyone has a question or comment regarding ordinance 2019-07 with regard to these salary range changes, please feel free to step forward, state your name and address for the record. Seeing no hands, I'll ask for a motion to come out of public.
So moved. Second.
All in favor? Aye. Opposed? Motion carries. And now I need a motion to approve ordinance 2019-07.
So moved.
Second.
Mr. Romando?
Aye.
Ms. Correa?
Aye.
Mr. Burrell?
Aye.
Mr. Cattrick?
Aye. Next, we have ordinances on first reading. The first one is ordinance 2019-08. This is an ordinance amending ordinance 2017-15 to establish salary ranges for various employees in the township in the county of Burlington and regulating the manner of payment of the same.
So moved. Second.
Mr. Romando?
Aye.
Ms. Correa?
Aye.
Mr. Burrell?
Aye.
Mr. Cattrick?
Aye. Again, on second reading, we'll have the opportunity for a public hearing. Next is ordinance 2019-09. This is an ordinance of the township amending chapter 20 entitled Administration of Government of the township by creating a new section to be entitled Donated Leave Program.
So moved. Second.
Mr. Romando?
Aye.
Ms. Correa?
Aye.
Mr. Burrell?
Aye.
Mr. Cattrick?
Aye. Next, we have ordinance 2019-10. This is an ordinance of the township repealing and replacing section 37-22, for those of you following along, entitled Appeal of the Township Council of Article 2, entitled Zoning Board of Adjustment of Chapter 37, entitled Land Use Procedures of the Code of the Township of Delran. Everybody get that in their notes? Okay. So I need a motion to approve ordinance 2019-10.
So moved.
Second.
Mr. Romando?
Aye.
Ms. Correa?
Aye.
Mr. Burrell?
Aye.
Mr. Cattrick?
Aye. Obviously, if anybody has a question, and when we get to the public portion about what any of this means, we'd be happy to share that with you. Next, I have resolutions. Resolution 2019-90 is authorizing the 2019 sewer adjustments.
So moved.
Second.
Mr. Romando?
Aye.
Ms. Correa?
Aye.
Mr. Burrell?
Aye.
Mr. Cattrick?
Aye. You sure? Resolution 2019-91. This is a resolution refunding various tax overpayments.
So moved.
Second.
Ms. Romando?
Aye.
Ms. Correa?
Aye.
Mr. Burrell?
Aye.
Mr. Cattrick?
Aye. Next is resolution 2019-92. This is a resolution to cancel debts and credits of $10 or less for property taxes and sewer service fees.
So moved. Second.
Mr. Romando?
Aye.
Ms. Correa?
Aye.
Mr. Burrell?
Aye.
Mr. Cattrick?
Aye. Next is resolution 2019-93. Hold on tight. Outside, this is a resolution for outside lien holder foreclosure on title, tax title lien certificate number 15-00030 and tax title lien certificate number 15-00031.
So moved.
Second.
Mr. Romando?
Aye.
Ms. Correa?
Aye.
Mr. Burrell?
Aye.
Mr. Cattrick?
Aye. Next is Resolution 2019-94. This is a resolution authorizing 2019 sewer adjustments for new property owners.
So moved.
Second.
Mr. Romando?
Aye.
Ms. Correa?
Aye.
Mr. Burrell?
Aye.
Mr. Cattrick?
Aye. About halfway through the resolutions. Next is Resolution 2019-95. This is a resolution establishing interest rates for delinquent taxes and assessments within the Township of Delran.
So moved.
Second.
Mr. Romando?
Aye.
Ms. Correa?
Aye.
Mr. Burrell?
Aye.
Mr. Cattrick?
Aye. Next is Resolution 2019-96. This is setting a tax sale date.
So moved. Second.
Mr. Romando?
Aye.
Ms. Correa?
Aye.
Mr. Burrell?
Aye.
Mr. Cattrick?
Aye. Next is Resolution 2019-97. This is a resolution authorizing the tax collector to create sewer accounts in 2019 billing for various residential properties.
So moved.
Second.
Mr. Romando?
Aye.
Ms. Correa?
Aye.
Mr. Burrell?
Aye.
Mr. Cattrick?
Aye. Next is Resolution 2019-98, and it's a resolution authorizing the township to execute an agreement with Burlington County for cooperative participation in the Community Development Act of 1974.
So moved.
Second.
Mr. Romando?
Aye.
Ms. Correa?
Aye.
Mr. Burrell?
Aye.
Mr. Cattrick?
Aye. Should note that that's fiscal year 2021 and 2023. Next is Resolution 2019-99. This is a resolution authorizing the closeout change order number 1 and final payment to Eastern Environmental Contractors, Inc. for WWTP tank weir cleaning improvements.
So moved.
Second.
Mr. Romando?
Aye.
Ms. Correa?
Aye.
Mr. Burrell?
Aye.
Mr. Cattrick?
Aye. Next is Resolution 2019-100. This is a resolution authorizing the release of sewer escrow balance for 1141 Fairview Boulevard.
So moved. Second.
Mr. Romando?
Aye.
Ms. Correa?
Aye.
Mr. Burrell?
Aye.
Mr. Cattrick?
Aye. That was the final resolution for this evening. But we're not done yet. Next, we have motions. Looking for a motion to authorizing the payment of bills, including all purchases made under the cooperative purchasing agreement.
So moved.
Second.
Mr. Romando?
Aye.
Ms. Correa?
Aye.
Mr. Burrell?
Aye.
Mr. Cattrick?
Aye. Next, I need a motion accepting the report of the tax collector and township clerk.
So moved.
Second.
Mr. Romando?
Aye.
Ms. Correa?
Aye.
Mr. Burrell?
Aye.
Mr. Cattrick?
Aye. Next, I need a motion accepting the report of the CFO, including the April year-to-date revenue report, the year-to-date budget report, and April check register.
So moved.
Second.
Mr. Romando?
Aye.
Ms. Correa?
Aye.
Mr. Burrell?
Aye.
Mr. Cattrick?
Aye. And finally, I need a motion granting a mercantile license to the following businesses. Goodness Auto LLC, 209A-1B Carriage Lane. Car Biz Auto Sales LLC, 207A-2 Carriage Lane. Siaka's Upholstery and Design Center, 1812 Underwood Boulevard, unit number 8.
So moved.
Second.
Mr. Romando?
Aye.
Ms. Correa?
Aye.
Mr. Burrell?
Aye.
Mr. Cattrick?
Aye. Next, we have our reports, starting first with our Township Clerk, Jamie Eggers. Anything, Jamie? No report. And now from our Administrator, Jeff Hatcher. Jeff?
Just
anything?
one item with respect to the donated sick leave ordinance is that the ordinance has been sent to the Department of Personal Civil Service, because they have to review it. We're doing it at the same time that we're doing the first reading and the second reading. If there's any changes that need to be made, then we would amend the ordinance so that we can move that. If there's, I'll report back as soon as I hear from the Department of Personnel.
Very good. Thank you. And representing the attorney, Stu Platt, from Stu's office. Alan, if you have any report, and a Delran resident, I might add. If you have any report for us from our solicitor?
Nothing to report tonight.
Okay. And now, as is our practice, we invite a representative from the Fire Commission. to give us an update of the comings and goings of the fire department. And we have,
Hopefully it's fairly quiet.
and we have Commissioner Jim Bauer. Jim?
Good evening. I guess I got to thank the Jake's Place and the workers for supplying us with cases of bananas. And actually, you never know how it's going to go over, but we had drill Monday night, and it was a big hit after the drill. So it was a healthy snack for after the drill. 5 people came out with bananas, and the other 20 guys went over. They got the bananas, and then next thing you know, you got like 30 people eating bananas in the engine room. So.
Did you get us a picture?
Not part of
at
our
least
mission statement.
Yeah, well, yeah. I guess I'd also like to thank you for the nice healthy, the sausage, egg, and cheese on bagels. The driver's training school had that on Sunday, not healthy, but certainly they appreciated it.
There's rolls without the hot dogs.
Yes.
Well, we were thinking about a veggie hot dog with the bananas on the rolls, but meaning we thought about it but didn't know.
Stay on point, Jim.
So as I said, we were meeting on Sunday for driver's training. Every 3 years, we completely retrain our drivers and our pump operators. So we're in the process of doing that. It's about 40 to 60 hours of training. I enjoy it, some people don't, but we're retraining every pump operator and driver in the department, so that'll be done over the summer. I'd also like to thank the community. The Easter flowers was a complete sellout, and with Lana being behind me, I have to say that Lana started that project in the department, and we're continuing it. And like I say, I want to thank the residents. We were sold out. So we saw the rain coming. We actually opened up Thursday and probably sold half the flowers Thursday night. So the residents are really backing us, and we can't thank them enough. You know what it means. I guess this month was more smells and bells. For those that maybe don't know what smells and bells is, it means that people smell smoke, but it's not actually anything, or we have an alarm system. And although Simon & Schuster Roofing Company, we've had a couple calls on that. Some of the roof caught on fire, nothing big, they put it out. But it set off, the alarm system got into the ductwork and filled the work area with smoke. So that was twice so far, so we're knocking on wood that they got that under control.
That wasn't in their kitchen, was it?
No.
Or maybe it was
Nah, it was small room.
books and cooks.
Nah, I hear you.
Sorry.
That's all I got.
That's it?
Any questions?
No.
For the residents, it's fine.
When your report's short, it's good.
It's a good thing.
Thank you. So now we'll have reports from our members of council, starting at my far right, representing Ward 3, Councilman Michael Romano. Mike?
Thank you. I want to thank Jamie and Jeff for all the work they constantly do. I'm a new guy here, started in January, but I'm constantly getting the information, the emails. I think they're the unsung heroes of what's done in the town. I really appreciate it. And I can also report one specific incident. I have little kids. We went to Conroe Park. They love it. There are always people there now, so it looks good. They seem to be enjoying it. And I had found one issue there with an anchor from an old table. Jeff and the Public Works Department immediately took action, took care of that issue. So I think it's a great location for families to be, and I appreciate that. So I want to thank all the work.
Thank you, Michael. Now representing Ward 1, Councilwoman Virginia Correo. Virginia?
Yeah, I want to thank all the volunteers that have helped and are helping with Jake's Place, and thanks to Lynn and Jim for all your hard work.
Now, Councilman at Large, Tyler Burrell. Councilman, your report this evening. So I have a couple of items I'd just like to talk about. First, we'll do the fun stuff first. It's all fun stuff. Again, we already talked about Jake's Place. I don't think I can overemphasize how fulfilling it was to see all those folks. I get a chance to meet many of the people, and so many of the people were not even Delran residents. I mean, there was a lot of Delran residents, but there were so many folks that came in from Pennsylvania and surrounding counties, and that's obviously due to the hard work of the Jake's Place folks. who get the word out and have their organization and all the companies that have supported it and sponsored the event. It was just very fulfilling to see and amazing. We had a chance to, the workers who were rated, by the way, you had the choice when you signed up to volunteer that the option 1 was you could build a house, option 2 was you could build a birdhouse, option 3 was you could swing a hammer, option 4 was I don't know how to use a hammer. So, and they were color-coded, very organized. It was great. They had gloves and safety gloves. Great job. The other thing that we had talked about early on was once we got the budget settled and done, which we did tonight, we would figure out a time to have a special meeting to explain to the residents the outcome of the co-litigation that just occurred, and I'm going to put on the agenda for the next work session so that we can organize our schedules, come up with a time for a special meeting here to discuss that and explain that, bring our professionals in, so that if anyone has any questions about the process and how that eventually turned out, we'll have the opportunity to explain it to you in detail. It'll be just for that purpose, that meeting. And I'd also like to say that this budget was $17 million budget, $17,700,000, with an increase of $164,000 in spending. To put that in perspective, that is 0.93% higher than last year's budget. That is less than 1% higher in what we budgeted. And the result of that will be, for the average assessed home, approximately $40. I'd like to thank the department heads and Jeff and our mayor for their hard work, certainly council for reviewing all that was presented and making the tweaks and adjustments needed to keep this increase at less than 1%. So I thank you, a special thank you to all those folks mentioned, and that concludes my report. Ken, do you have?
Just took one.
Oh.
Listen, I'd like to, same thing, as far as the budget again this year, I think the town did fantastic. I think the department has worked so hard to stay in line with the budget again this year. We all are very conscious on the economy and the issues that people have with taxes in general in not only our town, but in the United States of New Jersey. But I'm just going to tell you, the department heads did a fantastic job. Jeff does an amazing job. I mean, he's my right hand. And we sit down and we go over the budget line by line. And we always, like I said, we always try to look at the residents and do the best we can. So kudos to all the workers, council for reviewing, and great job.
Thank you, Ken. Correct. Okay, so at this point, I'll ask for a motion to go into public.
So moved.
All in favor? Aye. Opposed? Motion carries. Okay, so now this is the public portion. This is on any topic. You're first. Thank you. I'd like to have this conversation. We may not have all the answers, but we'll certainly get back to you with those that we don't.
Joe Kerstetter, 10 River Drive.
Hi, John.
Okay. Just a question about Melanie's Pizza. Is there any time frame that that's going to be cleaned up? There's trash in the street. There's the sidewalk's hard to get by. There's nails, broken glass on the sidewalk. The smell. I haven't seen any movements if the trash is in the street.
So let me ask Jeff, follow up on that. You look into that.
Yeah, I'll touch base with the construction code official. I know that they have to leave. I was out there, trash was just picked up in the street.
Yeah, it's just pieces here and there. I don't know, blowing over there, or kids are around there.
Is that they have to make sure that everything is reviewed by the insurance company, but let me find out. Fire damage can take a while, I think, based on the street, but I'll talk to the construction code official about where it is and try to get this.
Okay.
And the other thing, is there any kind of information on that heritage trail that was supposed to be
Yeah.
coming from Amico?
Yes, that was, the county is doing that. I'm
How's that
trying.
gonna affect, like, the paving of River Drive?
So,
They're gonna have, they want a 10-foot asphalt walkway for that.
Right.
Is that gonna go from the curb towards the creek?
That was the, is that there's, it's still, we're still getting the information, but we have the paving of River Drive timed with that, so that they're gonna pave what they're gonna pave, and we're gonna pave the rest, rather than us pave part and them chew up what we just
Yeah,
paved.
well, that's-
Yes, the county, Sony's going to coordinate with our project.
Right, so,
We do have a copy of what it's gonna look like, we can give you that, the engineer specs.
Yeah, no, I don't need to see pictures, I was just
So-
wondering, is it going from the curb over towards the creek, because, that's eroding into the water, and that's another. And I see that the county has in the ads in the paper. as far as-
right, so we can get the specs exactly where it is. Frankly, they sent a very detailed report that I remember reading a week or so ago. They sent information about what the trail's going to be, it's in the paper. I don't know that we have all the specs on exactly where the road, where their path is going to be, but we did coordinate with them so that so that Delran residents weren't paying to pave the road, and then they would come in and chew it up and do that.
I would hope not.
Yeah.
And how about the time frame for the paving of River Drive?
So that will be, do we have a timeline from them on that? I know the road program is moving, sorry?
It's still has to go out to bid. So
Right.
Once we get the bids back, and then we'll have reconstruction meetings at that point, we've got a time frame. The intent was to try to get it done by early fall.
Right. So that's what typically happens with the budget process and all those roads. It takes, it always takes inordinately long. If we have early frost or early snows, then we get pushed to spring, but because you don't want to pave in bad weather. But that's the goal. The goal is to coordinate with them, have them do the work, have us do what we need to do, all done by early fall.
I would like to see, I don't need to see the plans, but I would like to know.
Yeah, I don't wanna, I think they cut in a little bit, but I don't wanna speak, I think they cut in and share some of the road, but I don't wanna speak,
And we do have plans.
Yeah, we can share the plans. We don't wanna misspeak about the specs.
Or summarize. You can reach out to any of us.
Yeah.
And we'll be happy to kind of give you an overview.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. Anyone else have any questions, comments? Yes. Joe.
Good evening, Joe Miller Jr., 510 Leon Avenue. It's my understanding that, the Public Works Supervisor, Mr. DeSantis, is retiring or has retired, and I just want to publicly thank Mr. DeSantis for his commitment to the community over the years and his tenure throughout, I guess, the last 20 or 25 years that he's been in that position. Through his leadership, the Public Works Department has done, in my opinion, an outstanding job, especially during storm damage response, snow removal, and just basic cleanup of the township. The township was great, and I think it's due to his leadership and the state Public Works Department. So I just wanted to publicly thank him and wish him all the best.
He hasn't retired yet, but his plans are soon. And he definitely does deserve the credit because he does a fantastic job.
Yeah, a little known fact, he and I did tech school together about 40 years ago. So we would carpool back and forth. So I've known him for many, many years, and I just wanted to wish him all the best.
His retirement date is November 1st, but we'll relay the information to him.
Great.
Thank you. Thank you, Joe. Any other questions or comments? Seeing no hands, I'll ask for a motion to come out of public.
So, second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. I need a motion to adjourn.
So moved. Second.
All in favor? Aye. Opposed? Motion carries. We are adjourned.